Hi everyone, as requested I'm going to review a video called Persistence Hunting by Andrew Yuckles.
My name is Andrew Yuckles, wildlife expert
Australian,
and my mission in life has been to bring you
Aussie,
closer to nature in a way that has never been done before. Now let me show you what it takes to become wild. Join me on a wild journey into the unknown, meeting industry professionals and inviting you into the secret world of nature. Hold on, Chuchi. This is going to be a hell of a ride. We are all born wild, but it's a choice to be tame.
It's not really a choice to be tame, the government makes us tame.
Australia has some of the most unique animals on Earth, with 4 out of 5 animals being solely found on this continent. However, Australia is also home to some unwelcome visitors. The feral goat has established a number of populations throughout different habitats in Australia. It is estimated that there are over 2.5 million goats populating the continent. This species has been attributed to a number of catastrophic environmental issues, including soil erosion, reduced native regeneration, and spreading noxious weeds through their fecal dispersal.
Those don't look like wild goats. I guess that what he's saying is that people used to farm them and then they let them loose, which does happen a lot in many places, which is why they are now roaming around freely.
Now we're talking about an animal that can literally smell you from a mile away with the right direction of wind. An animal whose eyesight and visual acuity is absolutely amazing. In this environment here, it's very difficult. And not just that, you're not just dealing against one animal, you're dealing literally against dozens. That's a whole lot of senses which are working against you.
Are you actually allowed to hunt like this in Australia, or does he have a special permit to do that? In most countries on Earth, in Europe, you're not allowed to do this whatsoever. You're actually going to get 3 to 5 years prison terms for hunting. So I'm really surprised about this. It's interesting. Maybe some Aussies in the comments can tell me about it. He actually gets crazy close to them. I wonder if it's because they are used to humans.
Oh, I just twisted my ankle. I'm so close.
But not all targets come down easy. And in fact,
Yeah, there's also sheep there. These are not wild animals. There's no way. That's why he can get so close to them. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. You can catch these kind of animals easily, but you can't catch actual wild goats.
using the cover of some wild sheep, I've managed to close the gap to the point that I've become nothing more than a shadow behind his every move.
Right, so there you go guys, there is quite a bit of strategy in catching goats, feral goats, and you are out here literally combating against them in their own terrain. They're out here 24/7, they know this place literally like the back of their horns.
To be fair, the reason he caught them is because those are not wild animals, they are used to humans, and because they were in large groups, that's why they were not able to get away as quickly. If he was trying to hunt a wild goat on its own, they're usually not on their own anyway, but if it was, there's no way at all that he would even get close to it.
I missed the first one, I think it was the white one that I missed first. I grabbed him and he got away from me, but this guy here, I've got onto him. I got you, didn't I? Yeah, I got you, mate. Look at you.
The heart is beating out of fear.
The dispatchment of this animal needs to be honoured with the highest level of humanity. The relationship between humans and animals is spiritual, and my connection to him from life to his death is a parallel of understanding a shared reality, that we are mortal creatures of this earth, and to this earth we all return.
So you can see as soon as the blood has hit the cup, it's already coagulated. You can see it literally quite...
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people in the comments always ask me, why does my blood taste so salty? Blood doesn't taste salty whatsoever. If anything, it's kind of neutral. If your blood doesn't coagulate, then you can know that it's not natural. They added sodium to it, for example.
It's not going to move, a bit like jelly. Now, there's a number of cultures that I've spent time with around the world that will actually drink the blood raw, including the Maasai warriors, and they do it part of their culture, it's part of their traditions. However, there are many religions around the world that forbid drinking blood raw.
Yes, of course. And why? Religions were created to enslave human beings. That's the purpose. The governments understood that they need to control their slaves. Religions always were and still are the #1 weapon against their population. Of course, they will forbid you to drink the most healthy drink on earth.
And I believe there's probably good reason because of that. Now, blood is known to contain...
I like how he said that there's probably a good reason for it. A typical religious response. No arguments, no points, no explanation, just a religious belief. There must be a good reason for it. So funny.
Toxins, and actually consuming blood in large quantities can be quite poisonous.
Did he say that there's toxins in blood? Because that's obviously wrong. There's literally no toxins at all. Are there toxins inside of your blood? Yes, nowadays there would be, of course, especially because of one recent thing. But generally, naturally, there's no toxins inside of your blood, which means that there's no toxins in other animals' blood also. Otherwise, you could easily name a toxin that's inside of blood. Easy, right? Just name one and you prove your point. But you can't. Because again, it's a religious belief. And of course, you can drink as much blood as you want. There's never been any reported case of it being bad for you, as long as it comes from a healthy, natural animal. And this should be super healthy.
So this is purely done as a demonstration of what would happen in a survival situation, pure sustenance, where you don't have anything else around you to start a fire, to actually cook or boil the blood, or to cook the meat.
Why would you cook or boil the blood? Why would you cook meat? Again, give a reason. Come on, you religious sheep.
I wouldn't advise anyone doing this because of the risk it may cause to someone, whether in passing toxins into your body or even zoonotic diseases.
What? Toxins? Name one. That looks super delicious. Look at his face expression. Just because he's so not used to eating natural food, that already shows that he's a sheep.
The texture actually feels a lot like jelly, quite thick in substance. Alright, so we've got the liver. Just going to run some water just off over that, just to get that hair off. Now, it's very
Oh my god, he's such a slave, I can hardly even watch.
important when consuming the liver that you don't consume any of that residual collection of toxins which is in here. So I'm just going to cut off
Yeah, that's the gallbladder. You shouldn't consume it. It's bitter for a reason.
this part here. So I'll tell you what, in a situation of survival, what would be my go-to? Well, obviously, if you can't start a fire and you can't cook your meat, I'd be going straight to eat the liver. It actually tastes pretty remarkably good, and that's no word of a lie. If you can get past...
Oh wow. Okay, at last, something normal from you. Jesus. Of course it tastes good because liver is one of the best tasting foods on earth. As long as it comes from ideally wild animals, and if from farmed animals, then they should consume their natural food and they should not get any medication. It's unfortunate that a lot of people who try raw liver for the first time end up eating toxic liver, and then they believe that raw liver tastes bad.
The actual texture that you can hear right there. It actually tastes pretty good.
Yeah, and as he said himself, because he's not used to eating natural food, it's the texture that's quite often the problem for people, simply because they are not used to it, just like him. Obviously, if that's all that you eat your whole life, then it's normal, and actually cooked food, which is dry, would have a weird texture. It would be weird for you to chew food so much because it's so dry and tough, seeing as raw meat is very soft and easy to chew and digest. It wasn't such a bad video after all. At the beginning I felt like this is going to be just like any other so-called modern hunting video where they fake a lot of the footage, but that's usually done for television. This guy makes YouTube videos. He doesn't really have much of a need to do that. I'm still not sure about where exactly in Australia he was because of the goats and the sheep, but he did end up eating raw meat, which is all that I can ask for. And those animals should be healthy, they shouldn't be medicated, which means that the liver shouldn't be toxic. It shouldn't have a bitter or an off so-called taste, which is why he said that it tastes good. And of course, liver is supposed to taste good. A lot of people wrongly believe that liver stores toxins. Firstly, these animals don't even get any toxins, which is why you wouldn't have to worry about it. But secondly, even if some animal would, it simply filters them. It doesn't store them, except, of course, if they get heavily medicated, and then the whole body will be toxic, all of the organs. It doesn't specifically apply to the liver. If you eat liver, which tastes bitter, just spit it out. It is toxic, but that means that the animals that you're consuming are generally toxic and you probably shouldn't eat the whole animal. Thanks for watching.